Good evening, Warrior fans, and welcome out to Buffalo Wild Wings for another Sunday night. It is the Warrior Roundup. Thank you very much. Boy, they're so attentive here. That's just great. Warrior Roundup is live at Buffalo Wild Wings, Coach, and we're flying through it. I'm looking at the schedule and where it's at, and we're down in the, I guess, the lower third of that thing. We're zipping through some games, but a great week, so welcome in.
Hey, appreciate it. Glad to be back.
Look, the weather finally got a couple of the games, but you played a lot of good baseball this past week. District opened up too, and I know you had a couple of big ones in there. So let's go all the way back and look at the first part of the week where you started out, I think, with block in the first of the week before you got into district. Take me through a little bit about that block game, because you told me it's a different block team than it was on Monday even.
Yeah, they had 3 kids that were out Monday, but you know, they look like a totally different team yesterday in the tournament. They got some very good athletes. Their shortstop really is, to me, one of the best shortstops in the state. You know, he can flat out move. He can fly. He's just an athlete overall. But they had a third baseman and a catcher that was not there the other night, and the center fielder. I take the back. There's 4. So they look like a totally different ball club. I think they're gonna have a pretty good season.
And look, the play the shortstop made down the third baseline when he turns and he runs backwards, it saved that game from ending right there.
Correct.
Too. I don't know many shortstops that go back and make that play. I think ours does, but I don't know of a lot of them that do.
No, and last night I was watching him. He made like play after play, and he actually stole 7 bases in that game last night. Stole home as well.
7 bases.
He is a very good athlete. I mean, Block's got a good one there. You know, like I said, they're a totally different team. Their catcher's pretty good too. He was not there when we played him as well, but I think they're going to have a good season.
You know, the problem is a good problem to have. It's a bad problem to have, though, is that basketball and baseball, with baseball starting earlier like it did too, on some teams, you got a little more of a crossover on there, and you hear the term, well, we're in basketball, you're getting your football guys back. Well, in baseball, you're getting your basketball guys back, and that affects a lot of these teams.
Yeah, especially Pleasant Hill, Block, those kind of teams. They got just about everybody plays both.
Did I see that right at Pleasant Hill? Your opponent tomorrow night hasn't played a game all year?
Have not played a game all year.
Wow, and here we are in late March, mid-March.
Yeah, they played Friday for the state basketball championship.
Right, right.
And the coach told me he only had 2 players that did not play basketball.
So 2 of his okay, wow.
So they had pretty much nobody to play.
Right.
You know, that's kind of why, but kind of stinks for them, because now you're going to try to play for 4.5, 5 weeks, whatever it is. You know, that's tough. I don't care who you are.
But it's a great. Did you order onion rings, Coach? That might be your onion rings.
I ordered us some onion rings.
Did you? Us some onion rings. There you have it. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings. Come out. A lot of time. We'll be here most of the evening tonight. We're going to name our BU Designs Player of the Week. I think that's going to. It's another hotly contested one as well. Got 2 or 3 candidates for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, we'll get into that in a couple of segments from now. But Block, you took care of that game in there and ended up run ruling that one too, a couple of them in a row. And then as hotly contested, and I say this, but you look around, you look up and down your district that's in here at rivalries. Of course, the Glenmore one is there without a doubt. Avoyelles Charter is who Avoyelles Charter is, and now watch out for them getting their basketball guys back, of course. But you started out with Oak Hill, and that's just been a battle as long as I've been around the program for the last 9 or 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're, you know, anything can happen in those games. It's a rivalry. You know, you got to show up and bring your A game. I mean, like I said, I think anybody in the district can beat anybody on any given day.
There's no doubt. You guys start out in that game, the first opening district game, you went to Oak Hill for that one. You end up winning that one, I guess, 6-1 there, but take me through a little of that.
Yeah, Maddox, man, he had it going on. He had 13 strikeouts. He had probably the best game he's pitched since he's been here for me. You know, another complete game by him. But he's been really good this year.
Right.
You know, anytime we put him on the mound, he gives us a chance. New Iberia, Mamu, he's just thrown the ball really well. But, you know, the thing about it, he had great command of every pitch.
Right.
I think we threw 84 strikes. And it was like 18 balls, and that was it.
And that's certainly one of the stats that are key to look at. If a kid's throwing a lot of pitches in a game and he's up around that 100 pitch mark or the 90 pitch mark or whatever it is, if he's 50 out of the zone, 50 in the zone, it's a tougher night. But when he's pumping in 83 in the strike zone and in play, that's efficient, and that allows you to get 7 innings deep in one.
Yeah, and then they, right at the end of the game there, they kind of got a couple guys on base with a hit, and we wound up turning to double play, and then they got a guy to second. They hit a little Texas leaguer. That's how they scored their only run. But other than that, he was really good. He was dominant on the mound. Again, the knuckleball was working, the curveball, and it was making the fastball look like he was throwing 90 plus, honestly, because we were throwing those other pitches with good command for strikes. And then, we started out strong, and we talk about that a lot, getting off to a fast start. And that night we started off fast. We got 4 runs in the first inning, and it was enough for that night. I was kind of disappointed we left some runners on base after that. But, man, as good as he was, you give him 5 or 6 runs, it's going to be tough to beat us on that night.
It is, and too often people look at velocity as a sign of a pitcher that is it. And I say it's completely different than that, too. If you've got command of the strike zone and can move it in and out and up and down in the zone, plus you can get that changeup or knuckleball or whatever you can get it about 10 to 12 mile an hour lower than your fastball.
Correct.
It just makes it look so much faster.
It does. I mean, his changeup is good. That's one of his better pitches. Knuckleball, like I said, when it's on, it makes him even better. But the miles an hour difference was huge. And then the thing that we've been preaching with him over the past couple of years is not slowing down, making every pitch look the same with the same motion, and he's really done a really good job this year with that.
Look, that's a lot of the difference too. Not to tell him, we were talking to a coach the other day, and he says, "Look, we get in the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning, and we're supposed to be getting a tell on a kid by then. You're supposed to know what's coming the second time through the lineup on there too, and that's another good sign. If you're throwing those pitches, and I don't know if that's taught early enough in life or early enough in life, is throw the pitch the same way, and that makes all the difference.
I don't think it is. I really don't. I mean, I know our coaches, we're having to correct it a little bit, but I mean, it's part of it. I mean, everything's changed this day and age.
Right.
And everybody's focusing on, if you are playing travel ball, you got 10 or 11 players on most teams, and they're trying to do everything, and they're really not focusing on one or two. And I mean, which is good, I guess, in some ways, but in some ways, if you're going to be a guy for the future, I mean, I think you need to, focus on that. So many people focus on hitting.
Right.
If you're a pitcher, if you can pitch too, you need to focus on the little things that people don't ever think of, and that's one of them.
Controlling the running game is huge. We heard Coach from UL talk about that a lot when we were down at the LBCA conference on there. And says, look, the one from Lamar, I think, too, was on there. He said, look, you can get on base, that's fine, but you're not going to steal on us, so we're going to control that. Leads to double plays. It leads to routine outs getting made. And defensively, and you're right, defense and pitching, I don't think there's enough emphasis on, especially at the high school level.
Correct. We have done a great job of controlling the running game, and that's really, a credit to our staff. They've really held those runners on great, and we work on that as well. And our catcher's doing a good job, but it really starts with the pitching staff doing that, to be honest with you. And I'm proud of them, and we just got to keep going forward.
It seems like we talk about this throughout the game every time that Logan's on the hill. I think he varies his delivery to the plate and his move over to first as well as anybody. And it's not just this time we're going to do this way and this time we're doing it this way. He's got about 4 different deliveries to first and 4 different to the plate.
He does, and I had to talk to him prior to the last game. I said, hey, I noticed the last game, and we just getting him back with the finger and stuff. So, and there's so many things that we're trying to work on. And I noticed something. I talked to him before the game. I said, don't get caught up doing too much of this, because I want you to get back in the zone and get back the Logan that we know. And but no, he is great at doing those things, and I tell you, he's got one of the best moves for a lefty out there.
Look, I think what was the game that he threw may have been, I go back to it again. Well, anyway, he hit a guy in the inning and picks him off. In the same inning, he walks a guy and then picks him off. I said, is he practicing? Is that what he's doing? He's getting him on base so he can pick him off?
Yeah, I know when we played Zawali, we were kind of shocked. The leadoff guy, man, we had a scout report that said the guy's going to run a lot.
Right.
And we're like, well, we think we can slow that down with the lefty on the mound. And, dude, right away, the dude come out with a huge lead. And we pick him off right after that knock. I mean, that just deflated that
sure does.
That leadoff base hit.
Right. it makes a big difference. And then you guys getting back into the game week, then you guys have Oak Hill come to Merrill Blackburn Field. And I'm looking around. I'm not at that game. Chuck's calling that game. Chuck always gets the good games that go longer. I don't know how that works out so well, but he does that. But you're looking at a game then that is 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th. You guys are trailing after really controlling the game on Tuesday night.
Yeah, we were a little bit disappointed with the second inning because we felt like we had a double play that we did not complete to get out of the inning. And it would have been 0-0. I hated that for our pitcher there. It is what it is. You got to overcome it. You got to fight. And then, we got in the 4th inning, we had an opportunity really to break the game, get 2 or 3 runs there. And we only managed one, scrapped and clawed to get that one. And then we brought Canyon in, who was really good on the mound that night in relief. And we got to the 7th inning, and we're just trying any way, shape, or form to scratch a couple runs across so we can extend this game or maybe win the game at the end. So we did that. We tied the ball game up. I felt like we should have competed right there at the end a little bit better, swing the bat, put it in play, make something happen there. We didn't do that, but we managed to extend the game, and we felt like, hey, if we can extend the game, our pitching staff is going to give us a great chance to win the game. And Cooper came in the 7th with runners on 1st and 2nd and managed to get us out of that with no runs, and then he did the same thing again in the 8th, dominated in relief there, and then we had a real big hit after a walk by Canyon. Brady put one in the gap, and we had runners on 1st and 3rd, and then we moved Brady over, so they had intentionally walked the next guy and loaded the bases up. And, we had the guy we wanted at the plate who's been one of our hottest hitters lately, and he puts one in play and makes something happen, put the pressure on the defense. That's what we want to put it on the ground or hit a fly ball there, and we put it on the ground, and, it was a tough play for them to make. And I watched that throw. Really, the catcher, did a good job. I don't know if he just missed it or, it was close, but it was a great play by them to have an opportunity to make. But it went our way, and credit to our kids. They find a way to fight, man, and get it done.
Look, Coop has come in. That's not the first time he's come in a pressure-type situation and hung on. He's that guy you can go to out of there and say, you know what, just go out there and get us out of this, and we're going to come up swing the bat.
Yeah, nothing affects him. He lives for that moment. He wants to be in those pressure situations. And, his fastball, I didn't think it was as live as most time, but the more he was throwing, it started getting there. The longer he goes, the velo's going to pick up, and he did a really good job getting us out of that. And like I said, he lives for that situation. When we went to him, he's like, hey, everybody get off my mound. I'm ready to go. He doesn't want to talk about anything else but going in there and pitching a baseball.
That sounds a lot like him. When we come back, we got to actually, before we get out of here, that Downsville game, the Friday night game, you moved it from Saturday over to Friday. It was great to see Coach Tim Held was able to sit and visit with him. He's executive director of the Louisiana Baseball Coaches Association, and was great to visit with him. He's the head coach of Downsville, and so it was a team that you guys played in the playoffs last year, I believe. Isn't that right?
It was.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit different team this year. They got the Fisher kid, who's pretty good on the mound. We felt like as a staff, we felt like the Fisher kid.
I was wondering why he didn't start, seeing what he did the rest of the way.
And he shut down Winfield a few weeks ago. He's not bad, man.
Right.
He's sitting around 79, 80, he's really not bad at all. We felt like his velo was better than what we saw from our district opponent, honestly, and he struck us out, I think, 6 or 7 times. Did a good job. We managed to get some, I think, 4 or 5 runs off of him, but he was pretty good.
Right.
But, Tim's doing a good job. He's trying to rebuild that program. They're playing 500 ball right now, and, we just got off to a fast start. We talk about trying to do that every night, and we did that night, and we finally got some kids who I thought were struggling a little bit. They hit the ball that night. I think we had one guy 3 for 4 who'd been down the past 5 games hitting, and he came back, and we needed that kind of game. And Brady was good. He got his 2nd win of the week on the mound, and I think he had 8 Ks, so we were proud of him. And it was a good week overall, and we just got to keep pushing forward because anytime you're in district week, we got to save those 1 and 2 and 3 arms because that's what's having a staff. These weekend games or these other games, these 4, 5, and 6 guys, they gotta come through for your staff during the week.
You got a big few games coming up in a couple of weeks, and I can't wait till we get into that week and start talking about those guys on that little trip when it's Glenmore week and Barb week. That's going to be a big one. But we'll get to that in a couple of weeks on here too. When we come back, we'll sit and visit about the district games that are coming next week, and that big one that you've got against Westlake when they come in at 16-3. That should be a good one as well. We'll do all of that when we come back. You're watching the Warrior Roundup live from Buffalo Wild Wings right here on 446 Sports.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
At Wallace Eye Associates, right now is the best time to have your cataracts removed. A new year means a new deductible, so if you're just not seeing as well as you used to, schedule your cataract evaluation today. It's fully covered by all medical insurances, including Medicare. You never need a referral at Wallace Eye Associates, and our method of next-generation cataract care is the most affordable in the state. There's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. .446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
Back to Buffalo Wild Wings. It is Selection Sunday, too. Got that going on. And don't forget, if you want a treat, at 8:15 tonight, we will be joined by former LSU Generals head coach and current Troy assistant basketball coach Larry Cordero joins us live on 446 Sports, and they're getting ready. They'll know where they are going in this as the big dance starts this week.
That's awesome.
Did you get your bracket, Coach? Are you ready for that? You're a bracket dude.
No, I am, but
of course, you can't have it yet because I mean it's just coming out.
I'm kind of checking it out though right now.
Well, we've got a show that we're working here first.
I can tell you this:
we'll get back to
UC
that.
San Diego, Michigan better watch out.
Okay, so here's your chance. Now you can go on our 446 Sports Facebook page, click the link, and be entered into our free tournament on there. The overall winner is going to win a little bit of 446 Sports swag.
Oh, nice.
So go ahead and jump in that free tournament. It's live. You can enter it now, but of course the selections won't start until the brackets are out. out. Coach, big week ahead of you. District continues. You've got a makeup game tomorrow night on there, and that's Pleasant Hill. They weren't able to play because they were just down competing for a boys basketball title.
Correct.
So what do you? I mean,
don't know anything
0
about
and 0, so you don't have anything. Well, yes, they've got their basketball guys back in, but they're certainly not going to be in baseball shape by any means.
They're not, and we're kind of going off scouting reports from last year, talking to a few teams yesterday and today about them, but don't really know a whole lot. I mean, like I said, they're probably going to be. It's going to take them a week or two to get in the flow of things.
And you've got 2 games with Monterey this week. That's your Tuesday-Thursday game.
Mm-hmm.
That's always one of those games that throw the records out the window. No matter what it is, they're going to bring a battle to you each and every time.
Yeah, Coach Richard does a good job for sure. Love Coach Richard. We talk a lot. Really think a lot of him, and I know that realistically, right now, he tells me he's in the rebuild mode, but I don't really buy into a whole lot of that.
Let Coach speak in there. Yeah. That's right.
But he's younger, and he tells me he feels like he's 2 years away, and they are a little bit younger, but they got some guys, for sure that I really like. I was watching some video on them yesterday, and they look good, man. And 2 or 3 of them, I think the future is bright for Monterey if they stay together.
And then looming next weekend, I guess that's a Saturday game.
Mm-hmm.
Westlake comes into town. And now at the end of the season is where you start seeing some teams that certainly help positioning and power ratings. A couple of weeks ago when we were on here, you guys were sitting around 10. You're up to number 3. Games like this help you a lot. Tell me about how big that one is with Westlake.
Westlake's a heck of a ball club. Coach Blake does a great job. They just played Barb last week 4-3. Enough said right there. Westlake's doing a good job. I think they just swept Kinder last week.
Who's really good.
And, Westlake, man, they got some guys. They can play, man. We're up for the challenge. It's really good to have them right before a Voice Charter. And, we want to see the pitching. And we're hoping we can compete and maybe still win that day.
Look, and that's a good game to have here at Merrill Blackburn Field. How do you get those teams to come in here so often? It seems like you're always playing those games at home.
Yeah, you kind of develop a relationship with some of these coaches, and you go there and, you kind of get a home and home as far as years. You rotate each year and, again, knowing these guys, meeting them at the LBCA clinic, becoming friends.
Right.
And you can communicate with them, throughout the year. And, Blake's one of those guys. He's a big baseball guy like I am, and he just wants to play baseball, and he wants to play good teams. And, I respect him. I respect these guys that give us an opportunity to host these big schools at our field. And, we'll return it to them next year. We went there last year at Westlake, and we felt like we competed really good for 6 innings. Well, going into the bottom of the 6th inning, we let it kind of slip away there. But, we're looking for a challenge.
Look, and you're going to get it, too, because they're the number 2 team in non-select Division III at 16-3. And you talk about one of their losses that were on there was to Barb, and we all know about Barb. And then they lost to a 12-6 Welsh team to start the season and 12-7. So the teams that they've lost to have combined for 41 wins out of the 3 teams. Yeah. Now, one of them's the same team, don't get me wrong, on it. Well, no, they pick up, Lutcher. So 31 wins on the 3 teams, so that 41. That tells you what kind of ball is being played.
How
by
good
those
are
guys.
those 3 teams every year?
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. Year in and year out, and you
some...
come in and start with a Welsh to start things off, and actually beat them 1-0. So they're not giving up a lot of runs in there. This should be one of those really good pitching duels in those that, boy, you look ahead at where it sits and where it goes, and I don't envy you on who you're going to have ready to pitch in that game. I know you'll have a lot of arms on deck, but how do you play your week out knowing that that's a big game for you?
I think whoever throws Tuesday will have a chance to come back and throw a couple innings on Saturday. And we kind of have an idea who we're going to go with Tuesday, and then we'll go on the road. And, of course, whoever goes on the road at Monterey District, we tell our kids District number 1 right now. We feel like that is we probably won't see that guy again on Saturday. And, it is what it is. It's okay. And, hopefully we can get up and put some runs up early. Maybe we could, but if not, it's okay. And, But again, we'll have 2 or 3 guys ready to go that day for sure.
And look, there's a lot of work between now and then. But you and I talked too, as you guys sit at 3, a good week this week, and depending on family community, you're just a fraction of some points out of number 2, which is important when it gets down to home and away later on. But there's so much baseball to be played in that.
Correct.
But you and I talked earlier in the season at some teams that are going to get left out of it, and you see some perennial teams that are up there. Anacoco not in the playoff hunt on there as it sits. They lost a big one to West Washita the other in your tournament. ESA, who seem like they've always been fighting for it, but only 20 teams make it in.
Correct. And ESA still has 2 guys. They still got the Brown kid. I think he's like Canyon. I guess I feel like he's a 6-year senior or something.
Right.
Because they still have him, and they gave New Iberia fits the other night. Look, they're going to. I saw somebody was playing 5 games this week,
right,
earlier today, and I said, man, these teams are trying whatever they can to make up these ones that have 4 or 5 games in.
And you
already
can make points up where you're at from down here too.
Correct.
There's some movement when you start adding teams, but you look at Charter on the bubble, who's with state champs, and you look at Shooter. Of course, now they're getting back full strength as Charter now, so it's going to be good down the line on there too. But you and I talked about it. This is a good bracket in B.
This is a great bracket, man. Look, you can't take anybody lightly in there. I mean, it's going to be a dogfight, a grind every night in the playoffs.
Indeed it is. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will award our BU Designs Player of the Week. I don't think he's made his mind up yet. We're still down to the final 2 on there. When we come back, we'll announce that. We'll visit with him as well as a couple of other players on there. We'll do all of that. We are live here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Still have a little bit of time to go in this one, so you still have time to get down here, but we'll be back right after this. You're watching the Warrior Roundup on 446 Sports.
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and banners, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle wraps, and more. Give us a call. We handle projects large and small.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com. Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
And we're back, Buffalo Wild Wings on a Sunday night. A lot going on. There's a race going on. There's golf going on. The selection Sunday, but none of it compares to what we have going on here. It is the Warrior Roundup. And, Coach, we've talked about last week, talked about the upcoming week, and now we've got to look back at our Player of the Week. And, as always, it's down to 2 or 3 candidates that are on there. And 3 that stood out to me this week, and then I'll get your thoughts on them, was Cooper Courtwright, Brady McDaniel, and Maddox Adelise. Those 3 stood out to me this week. So let's look through there and give me your thoughts, and we'll start with Coop on that one.
Yeah, Coop had really coming in the Oak Hill game was huge, and then he had a big hit against Downsville. He really started it with a double down the line, and then I felt like, again, the pressure situation, Oak Hill was huge. And then at Oak Hill, he put a ball in play to score 2 runs on a Texas leaguer, which we'll take it.
Right.
And so he had a good week, man. He was solid overall, which, he's bringing it every night right now.
Definitely is. Brady had a big week, pitched a couple of games, got a couple of wins this week, too, and some big hits.
He did. He had 2 wins this week, block, and then he beat Downsville the other night with 8 strikeouts. Had really two really good hits against Oak Hill. A huge hit to get that runner over to third and really swing the momentum there where they had to load the bases up and really change the game there. And then at Oak Hill, he had another good hit there as well.
Look, and it just seems like every time he's up there, he's swinging the bat well in any situation on it. And the other that I was impressed with this week was Maddox Adelise. Tell me about Maddox's week.
Maddox kind of been struggling a little bit with the stick a little bit, but, man, he had a big week pitching the baseball against Oak Hill, against dominant effort there, and then finished on a positive note against Downsville for the week, went 3 for 4. He had been in a little bit of a slump, so we need to get him going. But anytime you can get that big district win on the road,
right,
man, that is just huge. I mean, that was a tough game on the road, and he was great, man. All 3 of those guys are very deserving.
Well, then we've talked about it a little bit too. So we're going to award our BU Designs Player of the Week for this past week to Brady McDaniel. If he'll get up and come up here, there he goes. That's the fastest I think I've seen him run now this week. No, there he goes. Brady McDaniel, our BU Designs Player of the Week for this week. So. Great effort. We'll get him back on the look there. At least we got Braden. Thank you. There's that. There you go. Now we've got everybody that's paying attention to it on here. Congratulations. A great week out there. Got a couple of wins out on the mound. We'll talk pitching first on there too. Looks like you've fallen into that category of give me the ball back after I throw it. You get it back from Wells just as quick as anybody does.
Yes, sir.
What's the process of going so quick, just getting the ball back like that?
Well, I like to get in the rhythm.
Right.
So when I get in that rhythm, it's hard to get out of it.
No, indeed it is on there. And you face some guys that were hitting the ball when it was in the zone. But one of the biggest impressive things for us was you were throwing a lot of strikes. And we've talked on the show before, throwing the ball out of the strike zone will just drive a coach crazy. Mm-hmm. What's your outlook when you come in and you get ready to get ready for one?
Well, I just pound the zone. I mean, if you throw strikes any given day, you're going to have a chance to win a ball game.
Coach, the mindset on there, and you see that out of a younger guy. You've got a lot of young pitchers that are out there, but they've got a good comprehension of what it needs to be done on the hill.
Yeah, I mean, Brady's played a lot of ball, man. Been with him for a while. I mean, he's a competitor. We've been talking a lot. I told him, I said, Canyon's going to be gone here next year. Well, you got to step up now. We got to see you grow and have a good year this year. Not only pitching, but behind Canyon, because we know sometimes he's going to get walked, and he's made a couple of teams pay for that already.
Right.
And that's only going to make us better in the long run, where you can't pitch around Canyon. And that's what we're excited about. And on the hill, I mean, again, he's a competitor. He's going to fill up the zone. I think he's got like 22 Ks, 23 Ks with only 3 walks. He's going to fill it up.
Your approach in the box, you've been hitting the ball really well this year too. We saw that out of you last year. You did it, but this year I think there's a little more consistency to it. What do you think?
I just try to hit the ball hard.
You do. But your approach to it, I think your patience has been a little bit different, because last year might have been some free swinging. This year you've worked the counts, and that you know how it is when somebody gets up there and you're on the hill trying to work you deep into the count, and so you know how that flips over and take a lot of pitches on there too.
This year I'm just trying to be more patient in the box, because I remember last year, it was bad. I was just trying to hit the ball and just wanted to hit the ball too bad. This year I've just been a lot more patient.
Look, and that's just part of growing up as well. I mean, when you get out in the travel ball days and the young baseball days, the balls are coming in there and you can swing for the fence and all that. This approach, you're going against guys that are 17, 18 years old, and it's a little different.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Defensively, you've moved around some as well. I've seen you over first base, seen some third base on there too. Your defense up the middle, your defense has been solid. It's kept you guys in games.
Yeah, there's a couple games where I had a little brain farts. The Oak Hill game at home, that was not a good defensive game by me.
Well, yeah, but you guys showed the resiliency to hang in there, and anybody can win the big 15-run games. But when you're down at home in a district game against a quality opponent like Oak Hill, the ability to fight through, tie it up, and then go to another inning, that shows more than talent. It shows a lot of character and fight out of the team.
Yes, sir.
So what do you guys, after a big win like that, how's the mindset? Because it is, you're getting into the teeth of district right now.
Oh, yeah, it's great, because now after the 2 wins right there, our confidence is up.
Indeed it is. Coach, hitting, pitching, limited roster that you guys have, not as big as it's been in some of those teams. How important is it to have people that can just plug in anywhere and not be a fielder only or a pitcher only?
Yeah, it's huge. You got to have 1 or 2 guys that can do that a lot. Brady's one of those guys. First, third. If we had to put him at second base, we can do that. He's played those 3 spots all year. You have to, and he's caught a little bit as well. He's a backup catcher. So yeah, you got to have those guys, and he's very versatile. And at our school, we always have at least, I would say, probably a year, at least 3 or 4 kids that have to do that, and they do it well. We practice it every week, and Brady does a good job of doing it.
I even saw Brady. Did I see a couple of stolen bases last week?
You sure
Come on,
did.
man. Tell me about that, dude, because last year we had to get you to unhook the wagon. This year, here you go, leading the team in stolen bases almost.
Oh, it's exciting.
You're in the top 15 in stolen bases, man.
Oh, it's up there.
Look, when you see that signal, your eyes light up. You're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember, I don't remember what game it was, but he gave me the steal call, and I looked at Coach Lab. I was like, you just say that?
Did you have to look down and read the wristband and say, wait a minute?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Look, that's good stuff, and that shows. But there's a difference in being quick and being fast and getting a good read and getting off of there too. And man, look, we had the stopwatch on when you were getting down there, and you were getting it. I said, looky here. Look, now, it's great the way that you embrace the game and you get better at every time. And congratulations, our BU Designs Player of the Week.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you. At least we got Wellesley that will clap for. And the other table of our new friends here, too, are on there. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to a couple more of the players, and we'll look forward to again next week. We'll do all of that when we come back. You're watching the Warrior Roundup right here on 446 Sports.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new Hook and Ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in Last Dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. .446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings on a Sunday night. Again, congratulations out to Brady McDaniel. He was our BU Designs Player of the Week, and we told you that Troy assistant coach Larry Cordero is going to be on with us. We found they'll be facing Kentucky in that one, and Coach, we've already picked them in our bracket for the upset.
Oh, for sure, no doubt. Troy by 10.
Oh my!
I got a good one. I'm serious. They're going to put it to them.
That's what I'm talking about. We'll look forward. I'll tell Coach Cordero that tonight. Matter of fact, you can send your questions, comments, jump on board, and give those comments on there. One of the 3 candidates that were in the running for it was Maddox Adelise, and Maddox joins us now too. Maddox, one of the seniors on this squad. Maddox, a great week you had this week.
Yes, sir.
Look, you guys, when we talked last time, because I was out last week, you were sitting at 10 in the power rankings. You guys have put on a great week, and I know it's early still, but have worked your way up to 3, just playing real good baseball.
Yeah, we have been playing real good baseball. 13-3. That's a pretty good record.
Look,
we've been doing our thing.
Anytime you get the opportunity to win your first 2 games in district, especially against Oak Hill, and I look around trying to find somebody in your district that's not a rivalry with you guys, but I can't find one. I mean, anybody that you look at there, Glenmore, Oak Hill, Avoyelles, Charter, everybody is out for everybody in that league.
It's a good district this year. It's competitive, I mean, each game matters. It's not a pushover, which I like.
It does, and you guys have had sprinkled in games of good. You got another big one coming up Saturday with Westlake, which should be a great one, but there's a lot of baseball in between. What is you're playing the number of games that you guys have? When we talked earlier, you said you had some things to improve on. How do you think you guys are sitting right now?
I think we're slowly getting better with our at-bats. Just some games we don't turn it on until later in the game, but I think we're trying to do better, just making every at-bat quality.
How important was it to come back and battle back, not only in the win-loss column, but that Thursday night game at Oak Hill at your place when you came back, tied it up, and then won in extras?
It just shows the fight you have in our younger players too. Like, I didn't have a good day at the plate, but players like Talon came through as a freshman, which is good to see.
Look, he's been doing that, it seems like, all along. He just doesn't quit. We saw that play he made in center field where the ball gets by him a little bit, then he turns around and guns a dude at second base. I mean, he just doesn't stop, and none of you guys do that.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, it's baseball IQ on there. You're young guys that are coming along. We talked, and we knew there were a number of young guys that were going to play early this season. How do you think that they're progressing?
Oh, they're progressing well, just the experience, like I talked about earlier, it's really paying off for them, and it's going to keep paying off for them.
With you, we talked to, you struggled a little bit earlier in the season on there, and this week you had a good week swinging the bat, it looked like, on the games that I saw. How do you think that's coming? Do you think that you're progressing the way you need to?
I made the adjustment I needed to, I killed the ego of I got stronger so I could try to power out every ball.
Gotcha.
I'm just going back to what I was doing, contact.
Right, and it's made a difference too on there. And so, do you think getting that announcement and all of that and the sign out of the way, has that helped you out some too?
Oh, it has. I'm just ready for the signing to be over too, so I can just fully stop worrying about it.
When are you guys going to do that? Do you have a date, Coach? Or
The 26th.
The 26th. Okay, it'll be there in the
at Grayson.
Okay.
On Wednesday at I think 1:30.
On the 26th of March?
Yep.
So it's coming up. Okay. Well, that'll be good. We'll be out there. We'll be
Yes,
out
sir.
there for that also. Big week coming up. You've got Monterey for a couple of games. You got that big game. How do you approach a game or a week like next week, knowing you played a lot of games last week? Here we've got some more to go out and get.
One game at a time, don't look forward. Get the job done that day.
What's the one thing down the stretch, these last 15 games or so, that Maddox Adelise has to work on?
I want to get my better quality at bats,
Right.
come through better in situations.
What do you think, Coach? The one thing I'll ask you too, if you said, hey, Maddox, we're going to work on this, what is that?
Yeah, he said it a while ago, not trying to swing for the fence, get back to the routine of putting the ball in play, make something happen, not trying to do too much. When he's doing that, he's really good. Washita Parish, I said, him and Canyon were big time there.
Right.
And they really swung the bat well. And, sometimes you get out of it. They're high school kids, pro level, people getting slumps. You go through that. You just got to adjust, get back, and find your way.
Indeed, you're doing that. And then you roll along and you've got that Barb series that's coming up. You've still got some others. I think if you had to look back at the first of the season and said, hey, where do we want to be? You got to believe that you're about close to where you want to be.
Really close, to be honest with you.
Yeah, look, I think so. 13-3, you'll take that any day of the week.
Absolutely.
Maddox, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you, brother, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you.
Maddox Adelise joins us here. We'll be back. We'll have a couple of more guests when we come back. Still a little bit of time to make it out to Buffalo Wild Wings. You're watching the Warrior Roundup with head coach Josh Brown on 446 Sports.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
At Wallace Eye Associates, right now is the best time to have your cataracts removed. A new year means a new deductible, so if you're just not seeing as well as you used to, schedule your cataract evaluation today. It's fully covered by all medical insurances, including Medicare. You never need a referral at Wallace Eye Associates, and our method of next-generation cataract care is the most affordable in the state. There's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau Insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
And we're back live on a Sunday evening here at Buffalo Wild Wings, and it's weird looking outside at how bright it is, too. That time change, I love it. I'll get on the soapbox for a minute and wish that it stayed this time all the time, without a doubt. Braden Wells joins us down there. Wellesley, what's happening, buddy?
Nothing much.
Nothing
Playing
much,
ball.
indeed. What was going on there out in the crowd a minute ago? We were trying to. You had another guest, the softball player, that was going to come on the show, and apparently that didn't happen?
Yeah, she's a little camera shy.
Camera shy. I got it. I didn't think people these days were camera shy. Y'all, I mean, you live your life around that phone, and
No, she's definitely camera shy.
she definitely can. Okay. Anyway, well, let's talk about baseball then.
Let's do
it. Let's do that. Getting into the season, I know you did it all summer, you catching, and here we are, a couple of months into the season. How's it? How you feeling? How you adjusting?
Oh, I'm getting much more comfortable. The more and more I do it, the more and more I learn, and the more comfortable I'm getting back there.
We talk about the pitching staff every time that we're on here. Brady had a great couple of games on there too. Those Oak Hill games were big. Take me through last week and your thoughts on how it went.
I mean, I thought everybody threw pretty well. I know Logan struggled but you know, we're used to Logan going out there and striking out 12 people every night. So, I mean, it was going to happen. I know he's going to bounce back and be better. But overall, I thought our staff did really well. I thought we kept the walks down. I thought we were good with strikeouts, keeping people on base. I thought we did well overall. You
brought up Logan, and I'm going to ask you a question about him. Serious, pretend like there's no camera. Did he hit the kid and walk the kid just so he could work on picking him off?
Probably.
That's what
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I asked him about that too. He's got such. I'd hate to be on first base against him.
I couldn't imagine.
It's difficult. Overall, if you had to look back, you guys are sitting at 13-3 right now. You've had some good character building wins, some character building losses. Where do you think you would have put yourself? Are you okay with where you guys are sitting right now?
Absolutely. I mean, looking at our schedule, we've played some tough opponents. You know, New Iberia, Ouachita Parish, teams like that. And stealing one from Ouachita Parish was definitely big. But no, I'm glad where we are. I'm looking forward to playing through district, see where we finish up.
Where does that Ouachita game and that big win there rank in accordance to that Thursday night game with Oak Hill when you came back in that one and won at home?
I mean, district's a whole different game. You know, it's a way different atmosphere. Like Coach Brown was telling us, you know, the 5A, 4A schools are big games, but district is a whole nother step up. So I personally like the Oak Hill win better.
Indeed it is. That's good. Coach, when you hear that, that just shows you those guys get it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They know it's crunch time. And we told them last week, we said it's the second season.
Right.
So we got to bring our A game. We're moving on. We completed the first season. Now we're in the second season of our schedule, and we got to bring it every day.
Coach talked about backup catcher on there. I don't think we've had to worry about that all year. You don't. Is there 4, 5, 6 games in a week? It doesn't matter. You're going to line up behind the dish.
Oh, I'm going out there every day. I told him the only way I'm getting pulled is if we're winning by 15 runs.
there you have it, indeed. We appreciate you, Braden, without a doubt. I miss you coming out in the outfield, but it's a long trot out there from behind the plate, so we understand that.
You'll have to look for me after a throwdown. I'll wave at you.
There you go, indeed. All right, we appreciate it. We're going to swap the mic over now and let Colton bring in as we're winding this down on the evening. Boy, it's how quick it goes by. Wait, you don't want. She's got one more chance if you want to come. She still doesn't want to come get on there. Colt Thills joins us out here, one of the younger players on this team. And, Coach, before I get your opinion on it, Colton, just a great job, great work. How is it adjusting to playing with, because there's guys a lot older than you are that are out there, but it doesn't seem to faze you.
Yeah, sir. I try to be a good teammate and help out when I can and just have a good bond with all my teammates.
Do y'all have a script for that, Coach? I mean, every guy that comes up has that same mindset and mentality, which is the perfect one. That's the right one to have.
No, we just, we before me, we preach team first, and they buy into it, and they love each other. This is a good group of kids, and they all pull for each other, man. That's one thing I love about them.
What do you think is the biggest thing that you've learned this season as you've matured from game one to where you're at today?
Just keep your head up when you make a mistake. Go out there. If you do bad hitting, go out there, play defense, and just keep your head up.
What do you think that you've got to work on from here to make you a better ball player?
Probably being more up in the dugout and helping out when I need to, and, just being a good teammate.
Look, there's a history of being up in the dugout. There's no doubt about it. One of our favorite things is to look over as the camera pans. you guys have a light on in your dugout, and there's no light on over in the other dugout. I think that's great. Coach, your thoughts on Colton and where he started the season? You saw something in because you tried him out there on day one as a starter. What do you see that made that happen as well as where he's at today?
Yeah, I mean, the growth. I mean, we had him in summer ball, fall ball, and he's just come a long way. You know, he's had some big-time hits this year, you know, too, as well. You know, and he just works hard. He works really hard. He's very coachable. You know, he's going to give us a great effort night in and night out. And the biggest thing, he's just staying within himself. He's not trying to do too much. He's just doing whatever it takes to help the team win.
What's a couple of your key favorite moments for the first half of the season? A couple of things you look back on and say, you know what, this was cool.
Probably when I hit a home run against New Iberia. I really liked that. And just being able to win against big schools like Ouachita with my family.
Look, it's different from what you've been playing, guys your age, and you turn around and look at some of these 4A and 5A teams that you battle. What do you look forward to most the rest of the season?
Just getting better and making our way back down to Sulphur and hopefully coming home with a title as champion.
Look, 8th grade, and he's got the wherewithal to know that Sulphur's
he's a junior.
Huh? Oh, well, then I've heard that all
he's
year.
inexperienced.
I've butchered that all year then. But I apologize for that.
It's all right.
I blame Nick for that. That's Nick. Okay, wow.
But here's the thing.
No, I'm sorry. Drew's the other young one.
Drew.
Okay, never mind.
And here's the thing with Colton. You know, Colton just started playing with us last year.
Right.
So, you know, he's really – and I don't think he played baseball since 6th grade, 5th grade, something like that.
What was it that said, hey, I'm going to go out and play ball then?
Well, I just seen all my friends playing, and I was like, well, I want to try it out. And I seen how much they liked it, so I was like.
Wants to try it out, and he comes out and he homers against New Iberia. That's great. That's a great story.
It is, man. I tell everyone, and that's why I'm like, man, these other kids at Grace, they hear that, man, give it a shot. You don't know.
Recruit to hallways. That's
no doubt.
That's exactly right, man. That's great. That changes my whole outlook on life, too.
For sure.
Just like that. But it's great work, Colton. It was great to have you on the show, and looking forward to a lot more out of you this season. You guys have a big week this week coming up, so best of luck to you.
Yes, thank you.
There you go. Coach, again, let's recap what we have coming up this week. You'll have, let's see, Pleasant Hill tomorrow. And now, for those that are unaware, that game is a 3 o'clock start tomorrow.
Correct.
How did that get?
They're out of school, and we have one of our players. I know it's kind of crazy, but he's in a wedding on a Monday night. Yes. So we were like, hey, they're out of school. They wanted an early game. They wanted a 2 o'clock game. I said, well, guys, we're in school. We can't do that. We got to wait till we're out of school. So that's kind of how that worked out with the 3 o'clock start. Really, they like an early start. They wanted to play at 2, but we couldn't do that.
Right. So I've seen guys leave the game and go to prom for you. This is the first time I think I've ever seen one leave and go to a wedding on there.
Yes,
but
yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about it. I just know the parents said, hey, he's in a wedding on Monday.
Chuck's not on the call on that one, so we ought to get this one wrapped up in a decent hour or two. I told him, I said, look, looks like we'll hopefully we'll get out of there before dark with this being the 3 o'clock game. Looking forward to having that one, Coach. And then, of course, you'll hit the road to, Monterey's at home Tuesday.
Yep.
And then you're on the road fullback. So you've got 3 out of 4 of the games at Merrill Blackburn Field this week.
Yep.
Looking forward to it, guys. As we tell you all the time, come out and watch these games. Go back and watch the broadcast after this. Again, congratulations to Brady McDaniel. He was our BU Designs Player of the Week this week, and the Warriors up to number 3 in the power rankings at 13-3. Coach, congratulations on a big week, and we're looking forward to another big one.
Absolutely. Excited.
That'll do it for all of you. And a big shout out to all of our folks that made it out here tonight, even those that wouldn't come up and talk. That's still okay. We'll do that. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. We'll go on the air at 2:45 in that one. Gosh, I'm gonna have my noon nap's not gonna be able to happen on that. We'll be back tomorrow night on the air at 2:45 for that one. It is Grace and Pleasant Hill Warrior Roundup for Coach Josh Brown, for Nick, who helped get us refills on our drinks. He did a good job. Chuck Perkins, I am Doug Gann. God bless you all and good night.